Welcome to the Fibers of Life and Business. I'm your host, Joe Watkins. This is the very first episode of really a long-awaited podcast show that I wanted to do. And it comes from really all the experiences in my life. And we're going to go through that. We're going to go through why fibers. What does that even mean? I mean, that'll come in later episodes. But today, I just want to do a short episode to just tell you why I'm here, what I'm about, and hopefully start to garner an audience of trust. So I am a serial entrepreneur. I have done anything from auto detailing to a full-scale cleaning business to being a Chick-fil-A operator to owning, operating, and selling a fairly sizable property management company to flipping 500 houses. So I've done a lot of things over the years. I've had a lot of people work for me, and I've made a lot of mistakes over the years. And I feel like that this season of life is a season to take the things I've learned and give back. And many friends and family have encouraged me to do this over the years. I've been that guy that people come to for advice. I think there's this automatic assumption that if somebody has been, quote, successful, or they appear as if they have good financial management, et cetera, that means that you do all things well. And so I think people have come to seek advice over the years. They got a very truthful, honest take on what they were experiencing. Whether I was right or wrong, I gave them exactly what I thought. And I think that's been refreshing for people. And so the Fibers is sort of a culmination of let's call it 30 plus years of experiences and conversations. And, just years later, seeing the fruit of what's been poured into people that work for me at Chick-fil-A. And these fibers, I call them life fibers. It's about creating a balance of finances, of health, of well-being, of our spirituality, of connecting with other people in relationships. And we're going to go into that into detail. But I'm starting this podcast because it's undeniable to me that when we have margin in our life, we have margin in areas like we have more than we need, let's say, in our finances to take a 6-month hiatus because maybe our wife got cancer. But that creates a defense against other problems and attacks in our life. When we have margin, we create a defense. If we have deficits, then the opposite occurs, right? If we already are not financially stable and then we take an attack of losing a job, then our world and surroundings around us begin to crumble, and those deficits begin to draw down many other areas of our life. And that's the study I'm interested in. That's the conversation I'm interested in talking about. And it's the interviews I'm going to do with business people from all over the place. Another thing that has been just so clear to me is you'll hear from people. I just go to work, and when I leave work at work. And I go home and is different, and life is separate. Well, that may be the case for a 9-to-5er who really doesn't put all in on their job. It's certainly not the case for an entrepreneur. And so this podcast will speak directly to entrepreneurs who have, I think, a different struggle of balancing life and their business. And they put so many hats on. They don't know how to delegate those hats. So I'm a business guy by heart, and business is going to be all tied through this. Fibers is an acronym. We'll talk about that. And there's the fibers of life. And I also have the fibers of business. And those are two different acronyms. And the combination of the both and the study of the both is what we'll talk about. And I think as we get closer and closer to figuring out how these things work together congruently, well, the more successful we're going to be. And I'm just interested in that. And so that's what the fibers of life and business will all be about. One may say this could be some theoretical conversations. There certainly will be a lot of conversations where we don't get to the answer we're looking for, or I don't feel like that the truth has been revealed, or even something I said on a previous episode may not actually play out to be true. So this is not about, establishing that everything I say is fact. It's really about an exploration of what is true. Because I think when we reveal truth, when truth is revealed through our actions, through really our inner core, we feel what's true and what's not. Not what society tells us is true, but what actually is true. Some things are true and false, people. And I love getting to those answers, because when we operate in truth, whether it feels good or not, we are empowered. When we operate on lies, for instance, if we know that we experience health issues based on our diet, yet we are looking or trying to put blame somewhere else for how we feel, that's not truth. How we feel probably starts directly related with the things we have control over. Now, of course, there's many things in life we don't have control over, and those things affect us tremendously, and we'll talk about those things as well. But this silent decay of areas of our life that we're unwilling to address, that affect and drag so many other areas of our life, that's what's interesting to me. And the cost of that, right? The cost that is taken on every time we make a decision, every time we decide that I'm going to make this decision where 3 or 4 people are involved. Do you think all those people are going to have, hooray, you made a great decision? Mostly not. As a leader, we make decisions all the time that really potentially negatively impact some people, positively impact others. But what we're looking for is the right decision that garners the best result for all parties involved. But again, each party may not decide at that moment that is what's best for them. So the fibers is a lens. It's a lens to look through. It's a lens to look through our life, to look through our business. And together, we're going to figure out how to do it better. That's all we can do. I can tell you, I'm full of not doing it well over the years, and that's really what's inspired me to do this. And I think through this, I think I'll become a much better human. I'll be a much better partner, a much better husband, a much better dad, soon to be a granddad. I want to be a better father-in-law. I want to be a better son. I want to be a better worship leader. And I don't know any other way to do that other than having the real conversations that can change and move the needle on these areas. This podcast will be biblically based in its background. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it. At the core of when I run things across what is true, it also needs to be true with my faith as a Christian and based on those biblical principles. And so we'll probably have some Bible verses of the day we'll talk about. We'll weave in biblical truths, and I'll certainly bring in pastors and friends and relationships and anybody that can offer spiritual advice in the complexities of these other fiber decisions. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about truth, stewardship, sustainability. Each fibers will be unpacked in different episodes. Episode 2, we'll talk about what those fibers of life are. We'll kind of expose those at a high level, and then on future episodes, we'll unpack that. I think the first mini episodes will be directed at doing that exactly. Just fiber by fiber, revealing what they are, why I think they're important. And there won't be interviews during this time, right? This is going to be a monologue, and that's what I need to do so I can create this framework, this platform for people to understand what this show's about. And then we'll bring in guests. I mean, I think that guests are going to offer so much more variety to the show. I think they're going to bring in new truths, new arguments, new reasons to dig back, slow down, and think or rethink something that we thought was true. I've always said that I don't want to ever proclaim that I know it all or even know a lot. I'm the guy who just is interested in continually discovering new and what is true and what works. And if you're interested in that, if you're interested in being on that journey with me, then I invite you to stay along for the show. You're looking at my basement studio here. So this is sort of a new thing for me. I've done a podcast in the past, but it was just an audio version. So to add video is really cool. I'm in the process of building a new state-of-the-art studio to take this show down the road. But this is the basement. This is one of my favorite places to be in the world. It gives me good vibes. And I appreciate you being here with me today. To talk a little bit more about the business side that will be unveiled here, we're going to talk about business leadership, decision-making, financial stewardship, the real-world trade-offs, because we have limited time, talent, and resources in our life. We also have limited time, talent, and resources in our business. And oftentimes as business owners, we make mistakes about how to allocate those resources. I'm going to be debunking a lot of podcasters out there that may stay so hardcore in one area about what you should do in your business that you would almost think that's the only way that's going to make you successful. I think it's a balance of many factors that make you successful. And so we're going to talk about that at great detail, the trade-offs, because again, the limited resources have to be allocated in such a way that the greatest return is achieved. And that will be a recurring theme. How does an investor achieve the greatest return? So I want you to think about how this show will be discussing, and the fibers that we're going to be talking about is what investments can we make into our lives and our business where the smallest investment makes the greatest impact over a wide breadth of our life or business, right? I don't want to make an investment of one and return one. I would like to make an investment of one and return three. But what if I found that investment in my business where I can invest one and return 10? By solving the one thing, I fix 10 other things. This is the study. This is what's interesting to me. And so come along for that ride. You may think differently as you get clips of this episode on social media or other episodes as this podcast unveils. Listen, I want the conversation. I want the argument if it needs to be that way. I want to dig deep and understand your thoughts. Understand where you think I'm off. Give me a that a boy when it's done right, because I need to hear that too. But again, this is about continuing to learn and push and process something that's really far greater than just one person can come up with on their own. Thus, I need the audience and I need those guests. And so at the end of the day, this is about thinking differently. This is about staying in the conversation. Everything here is not going to be about right and wrong or do's or don'ts, although there will definitely be some of those areas. It's just going to be a way to push you throughout the week, maybe push you throughout the month, maybe get you thinking about things you haven't thought about in a long time, maybe actually get you to unveil or uncover or dig up the crap that you know exists in your life or in your business, and you've shoved it underneath the rug so many times that you don't even know it exists anymore. And we're going to uncover that, because it's getting the crap out of our life is going to make our life and our business be much more productive. I did an episode, just not an episode, but a quick post yesterday that was about trimming stuff out of your life. I got rid of 30 plus file boxes that have been piling up in my garage for years, just weighing me down. Every time I walked up and saw them, it weighed me down. And I got rid of them. And it was a beautiful thing. And so we're going to have a lot of that kind of stuff. So again, I just appreciate you listening to the first episode. This is probably going to be one of the shorter episodes, although I'm not going to put a time frame on this. I mean, I'm going to go till I think the subject matter is really, covered. But the fibers of life, it has been revealed. The fibers of business. Keep listening and push me and applaud me and challenge me, because that's what the fibers of life and business is all about. So your host, Joe Watkins, we'll see you next time.